graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
You know, I've been from one side of this fandom to the other. In all that time, I have seen a lot of things. Above all that, there is one thing I am absolutely certain of. I am the villain of this story.
Long live the fighters!
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, Humor and Waffles. Good morning, Pat S. Speaker of the Dead. Long live the fighters, Speaker. How are you doing, brother? Welcome to Mornings of Mischief. Oh, where is it? Where is it? There it is. Just for you, Speaker.
Long live the fighters!
Lady Mist, the Guardian of the Void, is here. Hello, Lady Mist. It is so good to see you. Heiress of Chaos, Chris Persia, Purple Valkyrie, Mark the Infinitely Tired. Good morning, guys. Psychodorf 9. Good morning, Psychodorf. Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Keely, Roll Tide. I hope you all are having a wonderful Wednesday morning. It is killer out there this morning. Oh, wow. Good morning. And you know what? It is killer for Warner Brothers. Let me tell you. Oh, man. Wendy Vega. Good morning, Wendy. Trinoculus P. Good morning. As people keep coming in, welcome. Welcome. So much going on over at Warner Brothers, and so much more coming out about Joss Whedon. I'm just like, you know what? Where were you guys like 20 years ago? You knew he was a dick. You knew he treated people like trash. You knew he didn't work well with women, and you didn't give a shit. You didn't give a shit. Hell, when Ray Fisher went after him, Warner Brothers was like, nope, no credible support for claims of racial insensitivity or any of the bullshit that came out. Nope, not happening. And all it takes is Gal Gadot being like, hey, he grabbed me and pulled me into a broom closet and bitched me out. And they're like, whoa, what? Come on, guys. You knew. Don't fuck with us, Hollywood. Don't screw around with us. You knew. You knew what he was doing. You knew from years ago. You knew 20 years ago when he was working on Buffy. You knew 20 years ago when he was working on Buffy. that Wendy Vega, the thing that killed me as Joss was a feminist, a female feminist. Of course he is. Of course he is, because those are the ones you got to watch out for. Those are the Harvey Weinsteins of the world. Yeah, ask Charisma Carpenter. Keely Chow, exactly. Just asked Charisma Carpenter about Joss Whedon. She's been saying it for years. So did Eliza Dushku. She said it too. Psychodorf, no, of course not, Loki. He's in the club and makes them piles of money. Pat S. Never trusted Joss. Never trusted Joss. Yeah, 2 words. Harvey Weinstein. Speaker for the Dead nailed it. Harvey Weinstein. I have given so many women opportunities, and I've done this and I've done that, and yeah, look what he did. Of course he did. Of course he did. Because that's the way it works, isn't it? 2 peas in a pod. Hawks holocrons. And it doesn't come out until word gets out that he went after Gal. It's like, where have you been? Where the rest of us knew exactly what was going on. Loki, is a bearded nerd that used to own a comic book store, said, I don't know what WB will do, but I'm sure they'll make the dumbest decision. Yes, they will make the dumbest decision ever. And MB Geek, let's talk with a $5 super chat. By the way, Gal Gadot is a IDF bet. She's a strong woman who defended her country. Unlike the others who talk plain hero, she is a hero before Wonder Woman. That is very true. Thank you so very much. MB Geek, let's talk, brother. It is so good to have you here. Skol!
Spartans! What is your profession?
You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Let's see what some of this in the THR report said on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let's see. Whedon's alleged abuses on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and individuals who had worked with him on Sci-Fi's Krypton. Charisma Carpenter, of course. Let's see. In May 2017, Fisher was walking a movie work from Zack Snyder, then left him stunned. Snyder was leaving Justice League. Okay. I think that Fisher had signed up for was a far cry from the film that Whedon ended up finishing. Zack and I always considered Cyborg's story to be the heart of the movie. He has the most pronounced character arc of any of the heroes. That's true. That's true. I was amazed at Ray Fisher's part in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I said, wow, for him, this is like a totally different movie. It's a totally different movie. This is not the movie that we all saw that hit theater. Cyborg had a much bigger role in it. Psychodorf 9 with the $5 super chat. Male feminist and Hollyweird. Click clack. Don't trust him. No, absolutely not. Harvey Weinstein, Joss Whedon, and there are more. Obviously, the guy who made the X-Men movies, I can't remember his name right now. The first 3, or the first 2. He's another one that you're like, no, absolutely not. Let's see, Bryan Singer, yeah. Don't trust Bryan Singer. Thank you, guys. The ones who are like, Bryan Singer, yes, thank you. Yeah, don't trust Bryan Singer. Don't watch Bryan Singer. Well, you can watch his movies, but I wouldn't have anything to do with him. the more that comes out about this, the more WB has to, I mean, they have egg on their face. This whole time they have been supporting Joss Whedon's Justice League. To hell with Zack Snyder, down with Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's terrible. We don't want anything to do with Zack Snyder. There is no Snyder Cut. Snyder Cut doesn't exist. We don't want anything to do with Zack Snyder. We want something to do with Joss Whedon. And they've gotta realize that they have made the wrong choice. But they don't. They don't. And that's what this is kind of about, is they have been digging a hole for themselves for the past couple of years, and it's just getting worse. Warner Brothers, what have you done? What have you done? You got in bed with a guy that is doing all this shit. You got in bed with Joss. You were like, to hell with Zack. We've got Joss. Let's sleep with Joss. Joss is dirty. Joss is riding you dirty, WB. And Snyder is a damn hit. Snyder is where it's at. Snyder is selling tickets. And you're still loving on Joss while he's behind you, riding you dirty. I don't think you realize just how screwed up that is. And Mark definitely tired. Yes, in this instance, you get what you pay for, Loki. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And hello, Mags. Good morning. Good morning, Mags. It is so good to see you here. I love the first Wonder Woman, Wendy Vega. I loved the first Wonder Woman too, except for the ending. I thought everything was great except for the ending, the stuff with Ares. I thought that could have been a lot better. Pat S. Joss Whedon's biggest crime against humanity was the Buffy episode Once More with Feeling. I still can't get those songs out of my head. I know. You know what I can't get out of my head, Pat S? Greg! That's what I can't get out of my head. I assume you know what I'm talking about, since you brought up Once More with Feeling. Pat S. Oh, shit. I don't understand what WB's doing. I don't understand the mentality behind this. It is one of the stupidest decisions they've ever made. And WB's made some dumbass decisions. So did Fox. Fox made some dumbass decisions too. Way before they went out of business. Way before they got bought out by Disney. Years and years and years before they were letting the executives run their movies. And I'm sorry, but if you're in the business of making movies, let the people that make them. Let the people like Zack make them. That's the point, is letting those people make the movies and making business decisions, not movie decisions. Okay? If you've got executives at Warner Brothers making movie decisions, you've got a problem. You've got a serious problem. And this goes back to Joker. Everyone loves Joker, right? Love that Joker. Joker made Warner Brothers no money. Now I understand. You're going to say, but Loki, how the hell can that be? The film made $1 billion. It is the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. What do you mean Joker didn't make Warner Brothers any money? Warner Brothers paid for the ads on that movie. They paid just enough to stick their label on that movie. Investors paid for that movie. Private investors paid for that movie. They made the money. Warner Brothers made its ad revenue back and maybe a little bit on the side. That's it. Larry, with a $5 super chat. If you fight, you won't always win. But if you don't fight, you always lose. Fight the good fight. win the good win, never give up, never falter. We stand in the shield wall, Larry, and we fight the good fight. Thank you so very much for that $5 super chat, brother. Skol!
Spartans! What is your profession?
You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Skol, Larry. So how much more can Joss Whedon get away with? Jason Momoa, who played Aquaman, Godot, pretty much everyone that commented on Whedon's behavior said it wasn't the best. They all liked working with Zack. That says a lot about a guy making a movie. So at the end of the day, Warner Brothers is good to go with Joss because he's the name they want to trust. It's about the name. It's all it is. It's about the name. It's about who they believe is going to bring in the most money. Mike Beat, he's not getting away with anything for now. 5 years, he might be back. I guarantee you, Mike, that Warner Brothers would have him back right now if they could. Just on the name. Just on his name. They pissed all over Zack Snyder. They don't want anything to do with Zack. They don't want anything being made by him. The reason why we have the Snyder Cut in the first place is because of AT&T. That's the only reason. AT&T wanted it on HBO. AT&T gave it the green light. Warner Brothers still insists that the Snyder Cut does not exist. Even with it out on HBO, it doesn't exist. We vehemently deny the existence of the Snyder Cut. You don't continue to make movies by ripping the director's arms off. I heard a story when all the Weinstein stuff came out that Brad Pitt walked into Weinstein's office, knocked him on his ass, and said if he ever pulled the shit he pulled with Gwyneth Paltrow again, he would kill him. He would kill him. That shit doesn't happen. Brad got away with that because he's Brad Pitt. That's the only reason he got away with it. But no, AT&T's on the side of making money. Mr. Brown Alliance, make no mistake. AT&T is on the side of making money. They want to make money. They want HBO Plus to be a success. They wanted the Snyder Cut. That's what they wanted. They spent $70 million to make a lot more money. They wanted to spend $70 million to make a lot of money. And they greenlit that project so they could make a lot of money. Mike B, AT&T is starting to throw their weight at WB as they're seeing numbers. Someone got a phone call. Loki, I didn't like Zack Snyder's movies except for 300. I love 300 Max. But I was all for the movement for the fans. Hollywood will not last long when they keep supporting their evil cultish mentality. They're not. Hollywood is getting beaten down at the moment. That is why they do not like us. That is why they don't want us around. That's why they don't want us speaking up. That's why they don't want your opinion. They don't want your opinion because it's bad. It's bad. You're bad for giving your opinion. Shame on you for giving your opinion. Shame on you for having an opinion. How dare you have an opinion about us? Eat, consume, watch. Keep giving us your dollars. Keep giving us your money. But how dare you say anything about our product? How dare you comment about our service? You will not speak negatively about anything we come out with. You will just consume. We tell you what to watch and you obey. That's Hollywood. And they're losing. Brandon Wolf, if that is true, it is, Brandon. AT&T needs to kick all the asses in WB or kick them out. A company divided cannot prosper. A la Disney, don't be a Disney. AT&T will learn what works and what doesn't. And I completely agree. Wookiee Nexal. Harvey Weinstein was a scapegoat. Otherwise, all of Hollywood would be sitting in prison. We saw that. We saw that when the Me Too movement came out, when the movement came out, and some of the women screaming, "Lock him up," were guilty of the same shit with young boys. They were guilty of the same sick shit with young men. That's Hollywood. That's the problem. You're absolutely right. Purple Valkyrie. Joss Wheadon has a track record of this behavior. For the industry to ignore it speaks volumes. It's all about how much money can be made before moving on to the next thing. Consume, peasants. They've known for over 20 years. They've known about Joss. They've known as long as we've known. Probably longer. Because I don't remember hearing about the Charisma Carpenter thing on Angel till after the show was over. So 2, maybe 3 years at the most. And I was like, what? I think it was right after Firefly ended. Because I was like, no, there ain't no way. Joss is so cool, man. He makes such cool shows. Can't be like that, but yeah, it is. That was before I started to separate who these people are to the public and who they are in real life. MB Geek, let's talk. I will never give Snyder crap for this being 4 years later. The man had to go through one of the worst tragedies a father can go through. Like or hate it, they lied and said there was no Snyder cut. That's right. They lie to us all the time. And they shame us. And they point a finger at us. And they say, it's us. They want to control it all and will do whatever they want to make it happen, regardless of how they hurt. Rock equals charisma. I don't know what that means. Mags, Loki. Cameron Pasha practically said on one podcast I heard that HW was just a pawn for the Me Too movement. They have all women and men done what yes. What Harvey's done. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They treat people differently. They treat people differently. And that's what it comes down to. Hollywood chews people up and spits people out. Haven't you ever heard the old tale of the young girl who went to Hollywood and just disappeared. No one ever heard from her ever again. She just disappeared. I'm going to go to Hollywood and be a star. And then nobody ever heard from her again. And people assumed she just ended up making porn and disappeared. What happened to him? How many young women went out to Hollywood and banished? How many women did that town eat alive? I would, Mr. Brown Alliance. Loki, if AT&T are in the business of making money, will they get to let The Rock bring Cavill back as Superman? I would. And then I'd have Black Adam versus the Justice League. I would. The Rock versus Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash. I want to see Black Adam kick some ass. I would. If they were smart, they would. The Black Dahlia, Pat S. Yeah, the Black Dahlia. Look at the Hollywood elites who kept their families away from that city and lifestyle. Bruce Willis and Demi Moore and their daughters come to mind, yes. And how many people left and never went back? How many people were like, nope, I'm not going to be a part of it? Rick Moranis comes to mind. He walked away, got out completely. It's one of those things that, like, you know, it's like the mob. You just don't leave. You just don't leave. Keely Chow, no one wants to see a girl with a flat ass. Sarah Michelle Gellar in an issue of Maxim. Purple Valkyrie, Randy Quaid knows what Hollyweird is really like and has been ostracized for it. Talking about the hitters, the bangers, some absolutely crazy shit. How much of it is true? How much of it is true? How much of it is for attention? The bangers, whatever he called them. WB knows what's best for them and they will do it, but let's face it, it will take AT&T kicking everyone and yes, WB's ass to make that happen. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And the same with DC Comics. That's why DC Comics is going to go private and they're going to sell off the assets. They're going to sell off Superman. They're going to sell off Batman, private investors. That's why it's DC Comics has got to go. It's not making money. The comic division is not making money. Marvel Comics is not making money. And why? Because Indiegogo is kicking the shit out of the big two. And why are they kicking the shit out of the big two? Because they know we're going to back this person and we're going to get their work out there. We're going to back this person and we're going to get their work out there. Indiegogo knows because of people like Ethan Van Sciver. They are going to make bank. Ethan is leading the charge. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what your opinion of the man is. People like Ethan are taking over the comic book industry because the comic book industry doesn't know what it needs to do to get out of this woke bullshit phase it's in. It's a good thing Anna, that Star Wars girl, isn't in the chat because her uterus would explode if someone mentions Henry Cavill. Thank you, Keely. DC Comics doesn't know what to do. Marvel doesn't know what to do. They can't undo what they have done. And hell yes, all hail Uncle E. Yes. Hail EBS. Hail Caesar. They know how to sell comics. They know what the consumer wants. And how do they know that? How do they know that? They know that because an entire generation loved comics the way they were. You've got an entire generation that doesn't give a shit about comics the way they are. You've got an entire generation with their heads in their phones and not their head in a comic book. So who is your audience? What audience do you have? Do you have this woke bullshit SJW agenda audience that's not going to buy your book? It's that fucking simple. They're not going to buy your comic book. Or do you keep selling to a generation that has loved your work and paid for your work time and time again? This is the same thing with Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. It's the same thing with Star Wars. It's the same thing with Star Trek. It's the exact same rules. Instead of selling to people that will buy their product, they're marketing it for people that won't. And remember this, ladies and gentlemen. Always remember this. The campaign at Marvel is a woke campaign. It's a woke campaign. Mr. Brown Alliance, Loki, with Biden getting in, there will be a woke second wave. They're not going to buy anything, though. They're not going to buy anything. That's the problem. You can have a second woke campaign. You can do all this woke shit all over again. It's fine. But guess what? It's not going to change the fact they don't buy anything. The people that were consuming, that's us, ladies and gentlemen. Each and every one of you, me, that's what we did. We bought their stuff. I want to tell you something. I had Star Wars EU books prepaid for before they ever came out, ready to ship. The sci-fi book club that I was a part of were on standing orders to send me any Star Wars book that came out. This was before The Force Awakens. Now I don't buy any of it. Not because I can't. Not because I can't afford it. But because I don't want any of their crap. I don't want any of their books. Star Trek. Do you know how much stuff I bought from Star Trek? Do you know how much memorabilia I've got? Phasers, ships, damn near the entire Eagle Moss line of ships. I've got the big Kenner ships. I've got a damn Enterprise A model that lights up, that nacelles and the running lights come on and the lights in the windows and all that. And why? Because I bought their stuff. I loved Star Trek. And again, cast aside. We don't want you around. I spent thousands of dollars on my own Star Trek group that hung out, played Star Trek games, loved Star Trek, thousands of dollars. And was cast aside because I didn't like the 2009 JJ movies. Because I didn't like the 2009 JJ movies. An Ist, an Obe, a Yahtzee, because I didn't like a movie. This is acceptable. This is what is acceptable. And these people do not buy their stuff. They don't pay to watch their shows. They don't care. Oh my God, those two. I can't wait to see those two again. I guarantee you, that person doesn't own shit from STD. They don't buy Star Trek Discovery merch. They don't buy Star Wars merch. Oh my God, I'm a Raylo. Raylo, everyone. I made my own Jedi hood because they couldn't buy one. Because they're begging online for money. They're begging you to support them because they don't know how to support themselves. They haven't figured that out yet. So if they can't support themselves, if they're still living at home with mommy and daddy in the basement, how are they going to buy your shit? And Purple Valkyrie makes a very good point. What STD merch? Oh, there's some out there. There's some out there. Believe me. I've got a comm badge. I've got a comm badge that I got in a Loot Crate. There is STD merch out there. It's just rare because nobody buys it. Like I said, I got it in a Loot Crate. A comm badge. Bloop, bloop. Raylos are worse than Auburn and Tennessee fans combined. Roll Tide. Star Trek 2009 is not Star Trek. It had nothing philosophical about it. It is mindless action. Hi, Nero. Hi, Chris. I'm Nero. Nah. I don't even really like this ship. I don't even really like this ship. So you've got Warner Brothers kissing Joss Whedon's ass. Meanwhile, they're jumping Zack Snyders' ass for wanting to include John Stewart at the end of Zack Snyder's movie, at the end of the Justice League. We were going to get John Stewart's Green Lantern, apparently played by John Boyega. Yes, make no mistake. Played by John Boyega. I guess that was his little, or it would have been. Hey, I'll go over to your competitor and be the new Green Lantern. That it completely blows my mind. So I was looking at Bounding Into Comics by J.B. Augustine. Zack Snyder's Justice League finally gave us a ring slinger in the DCEU. It wasn't, as we all had hoped, an identifiable one. However, behind the scenes, Snyder was toying with the idea of working a well-known Green Lantern into his film, which everybody naturally assumed was going to be Hal Jordan. Previously released storyboards for Justice League Part 2 and 3 seemed to confirm Hal's appearance, but new concept art revealed by an artist who worked on the film, Jojo Aguilar, is throwing a curveball into those assumptions. Along with the clear renderings of Granny Goodness, Martian Manhunter, Leto's Joker, Aguilar also shared an illustration revealing that Hal's second successor, John Stewart, was planned to appear as the ring bearer in the Snyder Cut. This was the best experience in my career working with Zack Snyder, said Aguilar of his time working on the production. I worked a long time, and by far, he was the most professional, most personable, and coolest. And thanks, Jay Olivia, for introducing me to him. It's unknown who was going to play John Stewart or who Aguilar's model was based on, but some suggest Snyder was eyeing Moonlight actor Trevante Rhodes for the part. Reportedly, the director fought with Warner Brothers about Stewart's inclusion, almost voluntarily quitting production of the Snyder Cut over the studio's insistence that he cut the Lanterns scene. If anybody remembers the Uche talking the night all the Snyder shit went down with Geeks and Gamers, he was talking about them telling him, look, you either do it or it never goes to print. Cut this scene or it never goes to print. I heard it was Boyega. I got word it was Boyega, and there's actual footage. Eventually, Warner got their wish, and thus, in the final cut of the film, Stewart's part is instead fulfilled by Martian Manhunter, who turned out to be Senator Swanwick, is played by Harry Lennox. Stewart is likely being saved for either the Green Lantern Corps movie or HBO Max's Green Lantern series from Greg Berlanti. I don't want to see a series. No, just do a movie. Just do a movie. Mags with a $20 super chat. Thank you so very much, Mags. I only have a few things from fandoms when I was growing up because my family was living frugally, making up that time now by buying the old good stuff before it's gone and spending money on independent creators. I do the exact same thing, Mags. My parents did not have a lot of money. They did what they could. My dad especially did what he could. But it wasn't like, oh my God, here's all this stuff. And G.I. Joe was like the one thing that he was like, no, I'm going to try and get you everything G.I. Joe possible. But anything else, and that was fine with me. That was absolutely fine with me. But now that I'm older, I'm in that exact same boat. I'm going to collect things that I never got to have. I've got a Optimus Prime and a Megatron on my shelf. I never got to have an Optimus Prime and a Megatron. I've got a Jetfire from Transformers Season 1. Skyfire is what they called him in Season 1, but his name's Jetfire because I never had one. It was one of those toys I always wanted because I was so into jets. I loved the idea of having that jet, and I've got one on my shelf because, hey, you know what? I can do that now. So I know exactly what you mean, Max. Thank you so very much for that $20 super chat. Score! So he says, all along I knew that I was going to be in it, he told Lightcast. It was going to be Martian Manhunter and John Stewart, John Johns and John Stewart, as it were in the movie. But then they made him, Snyder, take out that part. Lennox went on to say that Stewart's part in the scene was instead given to Bruce Wayne, resulting in the film's final scene between the billionaire and the Manhunter at the former's lake house. I actually like that scene. Zack Snyder's Justice League ended on that note, which may be it for the Snyderverse unless those sequels can come to fruition as a result of similar effort to the one that brought us Snyder's True Vision. What do you guys want? What do the fans want? Do the fans want more Snyder, or do they want something else? Do they want J.J. Abrams? Because that's what you're going to get, is J.J. Abrams. Oh, someone remembers. Your pops did that for you and you sunk the aircraft carrier. Teenage Loki may have been a jerk. Okay, you're talking about like 10 years between when he got that and when I sunk it. So 10 years, a decade from when he got that and when I sunk it. I wanted to see if it floated. Badass. They all float, don't they? They all float, right? Yeah. So I wanted to see if it floated. Psychodorf 9 nothing if it's woke. Brandon Wolf, we want more Snyder. Snyder nothing in the DCU in my opinion. Well, we're gonna get James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which is supposed to be like a complete reboot. Let Greg Berlanti produce the DC movies. Snyder. Bad Steven Seagal beat up Twitter with a $2 Canadian super chat. I want LeVar Burton Green Lantern and the Jugger plug. Oh my God. I'm the juggernaut, bitch. And Chris Persia, well, WB want to push a multiverse, so why not have the Snyderverse on HBO? Because nobody wants more JJ. No, nobody wants more JJ. Fuck JJ Abrams. Get JJ out of Hollywood. I'm sorry, you know what? I've been a Steven Spielberg fan for decades, but I hate Steven Spielberg now because he brought us JJ Abrams. JJ does not need to have his finger in every pie in Hollywood. And if you notice Hollywood is rotting, explain that. This guy has his finger in every pie in Hollywood. And Hollywood's rotting around itself. It's dying. Makes sense. Look at it. JJ's got his hand in everything, and it's all rotting. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen. There is a reason. Studios are coming out with crap. Studios are blaming the fans. Studios are blaming each and every one of you for their failures. Even though they are making the choices they are making. They are blaming you. It's all your fault. Mark Dempley tired. Man, you are bald. John Stewart really could have be played by one person. Avery Brooks. I would have loved that. Sadly, he's a little out of the age range. I would have loved that when he was Cisco. If he would have played John Stewart, that would have been cool. The new Suicide Squad looks burning. Capaldi was the only thing that made me happy. We'll see. We will see. We will definitely see. MB Geek, let's talk with a $5 super chat. Saw a stream to attack a person who I said was one of their best supporters. Do not say keep it, then fire up a stream and attack them. That is a coward. Yes. Yes. And you guys keep the fires burning bright. Thank you so very much. MB Geek, let's talk. Skull!
Pray heaven, and let's slip the dogs of war.
The general consensus here, from what I am seeing, is flush JJ. Yes, JJ has a habit of pulling out before it gets started sometimes. It's like, sure, I'd love to do that. And then he gets involved and he hands it off to a bunch of side people and walks away. Hands it off to a bunch of side people and walks away. I would rather have Snyder than JJ. If I had to pick between the two, I'm going to pick Snyder over JJ. I don't think JJ's ever come out with anything that I've loved, ever. And I can say there are some things that Snyder has done that I've loved. Really loved. I loved the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I love 300. There are movies that Snyder's made that I've loved. And then there's some really boring shit that I'm just like, ugh. But at least there's some things that I've loved. Do I love all his movies? No. Do I love all his work? No. But and good morning, Mr. CCTV. JJ is a premature finisher. What? Yes. Oh, shit. I would rather have Snyder working behind the camera than JJ. That's just the way it is. I'd rather have Snyder than Joss Wheadon. Joss got a lot of praise for Avengers. But I want to tell you something. That all came together before Joss. Not because of Joss. that all came together before Joss was ever a part of that. And I personally, I want to see, I would have liked to see Jon Favreau do Avengers. Jon Favreau started the franchise. Jon Favreau started with Iron Man. He brought it to life. I would have liked to see him get the Avengers, the first one anyway. You want to give the rest of it off, whatever. But he started the ball rolling. Brandon Wolf, a $5 super chat. JJ has had his hand in every pie. That just sounds special. JG has own issues, but has not been accused of acting on actresses. No. I'm assuming you mean JJ has his own issues. No, I've never heard him accused of any of that. And you know what? Any kind of accusation is an accusation. I'll make that very clear. Joss Wheadon does what he does. That's a fact. They're not just accusations, it's a fact. It's been going on for 20 years. If someone came out of nowhere and said, JJ touched me, I'm sorry, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt until there's proof. Until it's a fact. This isn't one person coming out and saying this person did this. This is a pattern of behavior that's happened for the last 20 years. Going all the way back to Buffy. We all know what Joss does. Just like we all know what Harvey Weinstein did. Here's the difference, though. They kept Harvey's stuff in Hollywood. Just like Kevin Spacey. No one knew what was going on with Kevin Spacey. Except for Seth MacFarlane, apparently. No one knew. I just remember that episode of Family Guy where Stewie's running naked in a mall saying, help, help, I just escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement. I'm going to have to get that as a skull. I'm going to have to get that as a skull. Thank you so much, Brandon Wolf, for that $5 super chat. Skull!
A dollar? I've never seen a dollar. Nobody's got a dollar. Let us see the dollar. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
You guys keep the fires burning bright in Valhalla. Thank you, guys. Thank you so very much. What happened to Kevin Smith? I don't know, Keely Chow. Colin P. Smith, accusations are not fact, but I thought that was all that was needed these days. It's true. It's all they need. It's all bullshit. You make accusations. You don't have to have any proof. You guys, take it easy. Have a great one. The Valkyries are coming up in a little over an hour. Everyone take care. Have a great Wednesday. We will see you guys later tonight on the game stream. I hope to see each and every one of you there. In my opinion, things have got to change in Hollywood, guys. Things have got to change. They can't keep blaming us. They can't keep pointing a finger at us. They can't keep saying it's all our fault when they are the ones to blame. Take care, everyone. Have a great Wednesday.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.